Many people spend their entire lives believing that the highest form of love is sacrifice. They wake up every morning thinking about everyone else's needs before they even acknowledge their own. They become the person everyone depends on, the one who always says yes, the one who never complains, the one who carries burdens that were never theirs to carry. At first, this feels noble. It feels like kindness. It feels like purpose. But over time, something begins to change. The smile becomes heavier. The energy starts to fade. The joy slowly disappears. What once felt like generosity turns into exhaustion. What once felt like love becomes silent resentment. This happens because no one can continue giving from a place of emptiness. Every human being has emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual limits. Ignoring those limits does not make you stronger. It only delays the moment when your body, your heart, and your mind demand the rest you have refused to give yourself. Imagine trying to light hundreds of candles with a flame that has almost gone out. No matter how much you want to help, there is simply not enough light left. That is exactly what happens when you neglect yourself for too long. You keep giving your time, your patience, your attention, and your love, but you never stop to replenish what you have lost. Eventually, even the smallest request feels overwhelming. You become irritated by things that never used to bother you. You feel disconnected from the people you love, not because you have stopped caring, but because you have stopped caring for yourself. An empty heart cannot continue carrying full responsibilities forever. Many people feel guilty when they think about putting themselves first. They worry that setting boundaries will make them appear selfish. They believe resting is laziness. They believe saying no is rejection. They believe taking time for themselves is abandoning others. But the truth is exactly the opposite. When you constantly ignore your own needs, you slowly become a stranger to yourself. You lose touch with your dreams, your passions, your peace, and your identity. You become so focused on surviving that you forget what it feels like to truly live. Choosing to care for yourself is not selfish. It is an act of wisdom. It is an act of respect for the life you have been given. Think about the instructions given on every airplane before takeoff. Passengers are always told to put on their own oxygen mask before helping someone else. At first, this advice may sound selfish, but it is actually the smartest instruction they can give. If you lose consciousness because you ignored your own needs, you cannot help anyone around you. The same principle applies to life. If your emotional health is constantly ignored, if your mind is overwhelmed, if your body is exhausted, and if your spirit is broken, you cannot continue showing up as your best self for the people you love. Taking care of yourself is not abandoning others. It is ensuring that you have the strength to continue loving them well. Real strength is not measured by how much pain you can endure without speaking. It is measured by your courage to recognize when you need rest, healing, and renewal. There is incredible wisdom in knowing when to pause. There is power in admitting that you cannot carry every burden alone. You were never meant to solve everyone's problems. You were never meant to rescue every person who crosses your path. Some battles belong to others. Some responsibilities are not yours to carry. Learning the difference is one of the greatest acts of emotional maturity. Your worth has never depended on how much you sacrifice. Your value does not increase because you constantly put yourself last. You do not have to earn love by exhausting yourself. You do not have to prove your kindness by neglecting your own well-being. The people who truly love you will not expect you to destroy yourself for their comfort. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, mutual care, and mutual understanding. They allow space for both people to grow, to heal, and to breathe. There will always be voices that tell you to keep giving more, doing more, and becoming more for everyone else. But there comes a moment when you must ask yourself a simple question. Who is taking care of the person who is taking care of everyone else? If the answer is no one, then it is time for that person to be you. Give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Give yourself permission to say no without fear. Give yourself permission to protect your peace without apologizing. Every moment you spend rebuilding your own strength is an investment in every relationship, every dream, and every purpose your future holds. When you begin filling your own cup with peace, wisdom, health, gratitude, and self-respect, something beautiful happens. You no longer give because you are afraid of disappointing people. You give because your heart is genuinely full. Your kindness becomes sincere instead of forced. Your love becomes joyful instead of draining. Your presence becomes peaceful instead of exhausted. The greatest gift you can offer the world is not a version of yourself that is constantly running on empty. The greatest gift you can offer is a healthy heart, a peaceful mind, and a strong spirit that has learned to receive as beautifully as it gives. Only a full cup can overflow, and only a person who has learned to care for themselves can truly continue caring for others without losing themselves along the way. From the moment you enter the world, people begin placing expectations on your life. They tell you who you should become, how you should behave, what success should look like, and what choices will earn their approval. Some expectations come from family, some from friends, some from society, and many from people who barely know you. At first it seems harmless. You want to make the people you love proud. You want to fit in. You want to be accepted. But if you are not careful, there comes a point where you stop asking yourself what you truly want, and you begin living a life designed by everyone else. You wake up each day following a path that feels familiar but not fulfilling. You smile when people applaud your achievements, yet deep inside, there is a quiet voice asking, "Is this really the life I was meant to live?" That question is not a sign of failure. It is the beginning of awakening. Many people spend years chasing approval because they believe acceptance will bring happiness. They work harder than they need to, stay in relationships that no longer nurture them, choose careers that satisfy other people, and silence their own dreams because they fear criticism. They become experts at pleasing everyone except themselves. They wear masks that make others comfortable while hiding the person they truly are. The tragedy is not that people judge you. The tragedy is forgetting who you are while trying to avoid their judgment. Every time you ignore your own values to gain someone else's approval, you give away a small piece of your freedom. Over time, those small pieces become the life you no longer recognize. The truth is, no matter how hard you try, you will never be able to satisfy everyone. If you are quiet, someone will say you lack confidence. If you speak boldly, someone will say you are too outspoken. If you pursue your dreams, some will call you unrealistic. If you play it safe, others will say you wasted your potential. People will always have opinions because opinions are easy to give. But their opinions should never become the foundation upon which you build your identity. Your life is too valuable to be directed by voices that are not responsible for your future. Living for other people's expectations often creates invisible chains. You may look successful from the outside, but inside you feel trapped. You keep saying yes when your heart wants to say no. You continue walking a path that no longer inspires you because turning around feels too frightening. You worry that changing direction will disappoint someone. But think about this. If you spend your entire life making everyone else happy while neglecting your own soul, who will live with the consequences of those choices? Not the people who gave the advice. Not the critics who judged you. You will. That is why you must learn to make decisions based on wisdom instead of fear. There is a powerful freedom that comes when you stop asking for permission to become yourself. You realize that your uniqueness is not something to hide. It is something to embrace. Your dreams do not need unanimous approval to be worthwhile. Your purpose does not require everyone else's understanding. Some people will never understand your vision because it was never given to them. They are looking at your future through the lens of their own fears, limitations, and experiences. If you allow their doubts to become your reality, you may never discover what you are truly capable of achieving. Choosing authenticity is not always comfortable. There will be moments when people misunderstand your decisions. Some relationships may change because you are no longer willing to sacrifice your peace just to keep everyone comfortable. There may be criticism, disappointment, and even loneliness along the way. But temporary discomfort is far better than a lifetime of pretending to be someone you are not. Every courageous decision you make to honor your truth strengthens your confidence. Every boundary you set teaches others how to respect you. Every step you take toward your authentic life reminds you that your happiness is not something you should apologize for. Remember that the people who genuinely love you want to see you become your best self, not a version of yourself that exists only to meet their expectations. Healthy relationships allow room for growth, honesty, and individuality. They celebrate your success without demanding that you abandon your identity. Anyone who requires you to shrink, hide, or constantly seek approval is asking you to sacrifice something too valuable. Your peace, your purpose, and your self-respect should never be the price you pay for acceptance. Life becomes much lighter when you stop carrying the impossible burden of trying to impress everyone. You no longer waste energy proving your worth because you understand that your value has never depended on applause. You stop comparing your journey with someone else's timeline because you recognize that every path is different. You begin listening to your own heart instead of the noise surrounding you. That quiet inner voice, the one that has patiently waited beneath years of expectations, becomes your greatest guide. At the end of your life, people will remember your kindness, your courage, and the way you made others feel. But you will remember whether you were true to yourself. You will remember whether you had the courage to pursue your purpose, or whether fear kept you living someone else's dream. Do not trade your authenticity for approval. Do not silence your voice to make others comfortable. Do not postpone your dreams waiting for permission that may never come. Your life is your responsibility, your purpose is your own, and your greatest achievement will never be pleasing everyone around you. It will be looking in the mirror with peace, knowing that you had the courage to live as the person you were always meant to become. For many years, people are taught to believe that happiness is something they will eventually find somewhere outside themselves. They are told that happiness will come when they meet the right person, earn more money, buy a bigger house, receive more recognition, or finally achieve the goals they have been chasing for years. They spend their lives waiting for the next milestone, believing that fulfillment is always just one accomplishment away. Yet when they finally reach that destination, the excitement fades and another goal takes its place. The cycle repeats itself over and over again. This is because happiness was never meant to be a destination. It was always meant to be a way of living. If you place the responsibility for your happiness into someone else's hands, you also give them the power to control your peace. Real freedom begins the moment you understand that your happiness is, and always has been, your own responsibility. It is easy to believe that other people are responsible for how you feel. When someone disappoints you, you blame them for your sadness. When someone praises you, you feel confident. When someone criticizes you, you begin to question your worth. Slowly, without realizing it, your emotions become controlled by circumstances and opinions that constantly change. You begin living like a ship without an anchor, drifting wherever the emotional waves of life decide to take you. But lasting happiness cannot be built on unstable foundations. It must come from something deeper, something that cannot be taken away by another person's choices or the changing seasons of life. There is a powerful difference between seeking happiness and creating happiness. Seeking happiness means believing that something outside of you will complete you. Creating happiness means recognizing that peace begins with the way you think, the habits you build, the boundaries you set, and the gratitude you practice every single day. No one else can wake up with your attitude. No one else can choose your perspective. No one else can decide how you respond to life's challenges. Those choices belong to you, and within those choices lies your greatest power. Many people spend years waiting for someone to rescue them. They wait for a relationship to heal their loneliness. They wait for success to erase their insecurities. They wait for recognition to give them confidence. But the truth is that no person can permanently fill a space that only self-acceptance can occupy. Even the healthiest relationships cannot replace a healthy relationship with yourself. If you do not value yourself, no amount of praise from others will ever feel enough. If you do not believe you are worthy, every compliment will eventually be overshadowed by your own doubts. The journey toward happiness begins the moment you stop searching for someone else to complete you and start discovering the strength that has always existed within you. Taking responsibility for your happiness also means taking responsibility for your healing. Life is not always fair. Every person carries wounds, disappointments, losses, and painful memories. Some experiences leave scars that cannot be seen, but they influence every decision we make. While you may not be responsible for everything that happened to you, you are responsible for deciding what happens next. You cannot always control your past, but you can control whether you allow it to define your future. Healing is not about pretending the pain never existed. It is about refusing to let that pain become the author of the rest of your story. Your daily choices shape your emotional life more than you may realize. Every morning you have an opportunity to choose gratitude instead of constant complaint. You can choose growth instead of excuses. You can choose forgiveness instead of carrying bitterness that only weighs down your own heart. You can choose to spend time with people who encourage your dreams instead of those who constantly drain your energy. These choices may seem small, but repeated day after day, they create the foundation of a joyful and meaningful life. Happiness is rarely built through one dramatic event. It is built through thousands of quiet decisions that honor your peace. There will always be difficult seasons. There will be unexpected losses, disappointments, failures, and moments when life feels heavier than you imagined. Taking responsibility for your happiness does not mean pretending that pain does not exist. It means refusing to let pain become your permanent address. It means believing that even in the middle of hardship, there is still something worth appreciating, something worth learning, and something worth hoping for. Strong people are not those who never experience sadness. Strong people are those who refuse to let sadness steal their future. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is permission to stop comparing your journey with everyone else's. Comparison quietly destroys joy because it teaches you to focus on what you lack instead of appreciating what you already have. Someone will always have more money, more success, more recognition, or more possessions. But none of those things guarantee peace. The happiest people are not always those who have the most. They are often the ones who appreciate the most. Gratitude changes the way you see your life. It reminds you that happiness grows wherever appreciation is planted. As you begin accepting responsibility for your own happiness, something remarkable happens. You stop expecting other people to carry burdens they were never meant to carry. You stop demanding that circumstances always be perfect before allowing yourself to smile. You become emotionally stronger because your peace is no longer dependent on external validation. Your confidence becomes quieter, your heart becomes lighter, and your relationships become healthier because you give love freely instead of using it to fill an emptiness inside yourself. The greatest transformation in life begins when you realize that you are the author of your attitude, the guardian of your peace, and the builder of your future. Every day gives you another opportunity to choose hope over fear, gratitude over complaint, courage over comfort, and growth over regret. Your happiness is not hidden in another person, another achievement, or another destination. It is created by the way you live, the way you think, the way you love yourself, and the way you choose to respond to life. When you accept full responsibility for your own happiness, you discover a freedom that no one can give you and no one can ever take away. As we come to the end of this journey, remember one truth above all else. Living for yourself is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of self-respect. There is a profound difference between caring only about yourself and caring enough about yourself to become the healthiest, strongest, and most authentic version of who you are. The world does not need another exhausted person who has lost themselves trying to please everyone. The world needs people who are whole, confident, compassionate, and courageous enough to live with purpose. Stop apologizing for protecting your peace. Stop feeling guilty for setting healthy boundaries. Stop believing that your worth is measured by how much you sacrifice or how many people you satisfy. Your value has never depended on the approval of others. It has always existed within you. Every time you choose rest over burnout, truth over pretending, and purpose over people-pleasing, you take another step toward the life you were meant to live. Remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Fill your mind with wisdom, your heart with kindness, and your soul with hope. Remember that you do not have to spend your life chasing other people's expectations. The only person who has to live your life every single day is you. Have the courage to follow your own path, even when it is different from what others expect. And above all, remember that your happiness is your responsibility. Do not wait for another person, another opportunity, or another season to give you permission to be happy. Choose it today through your thoughts, your habits, your gratitude, and your actions. Years from now, you will not regret the opinions you ignored. You will regret the dreams you never pursued because you were afraid of disappointing someone else. Do not let fear write your story. Let courage write it. Let self-respect write it. Let purpose write it. Every sunrise is another opportunity to become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more faithful to the person you were created to be. So walk forward with confidence. Protect your peace without guilt. Honor your dreams without apology. Love others deeply, but never at the cost of losing yourself. Keep growing, keep learning, keep believing, and never forget that the relationship you build with yourself sets the standard for every other relationship in your life. Your life is a gift. Your voice matters. Your dreams matter. Your peace matters. Choose yourself not because you are more important than anyone else, but because when you become your best self, everyone around you benefits from the light you carry. Live with courage. Live with purpose. Live with authenticity. And every single day make the choice to become someone you are proud to see in the mirror. Because the greatest success you will ever achieve is not becoming the person the world expected you to be. It is becoming the person you were always meant to become.